Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz. I don't know what the hell was happening before. It dropped the second we pressed live. There's just so many scallywags at the moment sitting in their mother's den. So many people that have quit things in their life that are now watching TV online at the same time as me and you. G'day Nicole, Maddie, 1, 2, 3, keeping it easy. King of Coins, Jay Hayes. He's Westside. Not Cerebral Palsy, Wakey Vids. Kane Higgins, always up north. The Parrot, Wakey Vids. Magnifico was up here first, and Robbie War never comes up short. Leo Wanker, Stuntman for Life, fist left and right there. So much going on, team. For anyone that's watching at the moment that can't get hold of me on my primary phone, just be aware that it is finally on the blink. It's died. It is in the, what do you call it? What is this? It's in disabled mode and won't come back on. I went to Apple today. All the Apple shops are closed. I need to make an appointment. Remember a password from 20 years ago. Here we go again. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video. Let's get into it. You've been waiting long enough. Hey team, how we going? It's Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, and tonight we're talking about not quitting. Just like I didn't quit a couple of minutes ago, despite the fact that YouTube is making it almost impossible for me to continue this channel. Whether it be hiding our videos, whether it be not sending out notifications. It's getting tough, a trend of it. Never surrender, says Daz. When I think of don't quit, yeah, I see Wakey. We'll see how it goes, mate. Hopefully it improves for you, team. If we can't, it's impossible to do anything about it. Right. When you see someone in the Olympics, you know, the fact these comments came up during the Olympics, you're talking about quitting, justifying quitting. At the same time, we're watching the Olympics where it's not about quitters. What about the people that turn up that know they're the fastest in their country and the history of their country, but are going into the Olympics knowing their PB is below the time of more than 75% of the entrants for a 42-kilometre race? They don't quit. You see them stagger, fall, but regain themselves or collapse and end up getting taken away in an ambulance. What about the guy who's losing a boxing match for 11 of the 12 rounds? What about Fred Hollows? You know, using all his time and expertise to save the eyesight of yet one more, okay, horribly sight-affected child in a third world country. Okay, scientists, doctors, firemen, ambos. What if they quit? What if your parents quit when it got too hard? How hard would that be? And that happens. We don't quit, team. Tonight is about not quitting, and it should never be tolerated. It is not okay to quit. And if you listen to enough people that say it's okay to quit, you could end up being a quitter. We've got a public announcement speech tonight that's happening from a guest appearance celebrity. So stay in tune, and we'll put that on. Hopefully we don't get knocked for that. Simon Powell, how we going, team? Buffering. There's nothing I can do about it, mate. When 90% of the world at the moment is sitting on the internet because they've been locked at home for one reason or another, there's nothing we can do. Leo Wanker, Stuntman for Life. G'day, Simon. How you going? Just refresh. Yeah, you've got to refresh from your end, team, and it should be fine. Andrew Lavender. That smells like you'd smell good. Lavender, the sweet taste. This bush hat is another reason, a symbol of not quitting. Once this hat goes on, okay, you're actually out in the sticks. You can't quit. There's nowhere to go. Someone doesn't come up and pick up adults that are quitters. It doesn't work. And the problem with quitters is they always have a reason why they quit. A justification, another side of the story that most of the time doesn't seem to make sense. Should we get straight into it? Or should we start with some hellos? Okay, and if you're a quitter, it's not too late to turn that off and start again. Tonight we're talking about the military mostly because oath or affirmation is given. Your solemn word on your name, okay, on your code, on the Queen or the country or the Bible, and also your family name and your promise. You've had all of the testing that has told you that you can do it. But if your pluck is not strong enough, then you're a quitter, a legitimate quitter. And you need to curb that. Otherwise, you continue a life in purgatory of always wondering, can I do something? But you've let yourself down so often that the trust from others on you can actually be a crippling event to you. So please don't do it. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you're unreliable. Carl P, not quitting is our household. Yeah, that's it, man. Jay Magnifico, every one of you, I dare say, Chongo, good to have you here, mate. Almost every one of you here would have a reason that you could quit, that you could justify quitting, but you don't. Okay, you just don't. Joe Bellinger, back in the stream. Evening, folks. Good to have you here, Joe. Big Joe. Magnifico, get into it, mate. Joshy Fawns, congratulations. Lightfoot High, guys. G'day to Lighty, says Wakey. What else we got? Robbie Wool says, got to go for a bit. Back later if you're still here. We'll still be here, mate. Let's have a look at that symbol again. Bam. This can be Skylar De Beer. I don't think it's a real name. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't put her comment up. I'm not here to name and shame you, so to speak. But if you're going to come on and justify something like quitting on a channel, it's all about helping you do, then I'm going to call it out. So this can represent Skylar De Beer, and beside her is the gentleman who's lost his leg, lost his arm, but still going about saying, what can I do? And we know guys like that. Righto? What about the light horse? When they were told that you're going to ride on horseback as infantry, okay, on the western trenches. Here's some of the shrapnel right here. Not enough? Want some more? There's some more. This stuff's flying through the air. They're riding a horse. Their only body armour was their abdominal muscles. But they got the job done. Because they had the faith in the brotherhood, and you know that if you quit, you've just made the entire team slower. Yeah. We saw that Simone girl quit in the Olympics after she'd actually got into the games. The time to quit was before you'd actually gone onto the field. Otherwise, you've just become a burden, and it doesn't matter what your excuse was. Mason, Rock Mason, quitting leads to regret, absolutely. And, mate, you are a savant of knowledge, Mason, because no sooner had I received this message from Skylar De Beer, okay, during the Olympics, that quitting is okay. And I've got the comment here I'll show you in a minute. But straight underneath that had come up before that was a gentleman, okay, who had been in the military over 20 years ago, and he had done his ROR. He had quit, and now is letting me know as a 41-year-old man, he's regretted it every day ever since. So that is proof. The regret that comes with not testing yourself, or not giving yourself a shot at the title, so to speak. Quit smoking, by all means. But even quitters hate quitters. Brother Daz, g'day. Daz is here. Here's a ute driving Freako from down south. Quitting can be dangerous. Well, you can lose your trust in not only yourself, but your family will lose trust in you too. If you tell everyone, arms above the head, I'm going to do this, I can do this, but then not only do you fail, which is okay to fail, but that's different to quitting. But if you quit, the next time you say you're going to do something, they're going to think, yeah, well, I don't know if I've got much faith in you. The last time you said you were going to do something, you pulled out of your own accord. You can't be doing that. Otherwise, the next time you're going to say you're going to do something, you're going to go, don't bank on it. Don't write a resume for someone who's got a history of quitting. Nicole King, Daz, I'm sick and need my mummy. Yaros, makes me want a kebab. I should be there 13th September as well, mate. We've got Mr. Vids, USS Wasp. G'day, mate. The Navy, they didn't get a chance to quit, okay, when they're on the Indianapolis, off Guam, where their ship sunk, and they went into combat with the shark. They had to keep treading water. If you quit, you died. Yep. You didn't see the Anzacs when they were in Kapooka giving up to the Japanese, because they would have ended up being on the end of the fork. Tommy Collette. See you there, Yaros. I quit smoking. I didn't know you smoked, Simon. Is there a bad habit you don't have, sir? Nicole, Simon, great work, mate. You're not going to become one of those people now you're giving up smoking where you're going to now attack your own. You know, the stinky smokers. Because smoking and drinking is next. Dave in Vietnam. He's in Nam. He knows what it's like. A weird thing happens when you give up drinking, team. If you quit drinking, you become a little bit more boring, but your mind opens up and you think, oh my God, I've been in a trance for how many years now doing mistakes. The amount of things I've done wrong that are creeping up on me. You know, you think to yourself, how lucky have you been? The butterfly effect, the last video I put out. Accidentally hurting people by misadventure, poor decisions. Clayton Robinson, just waiting for DFR to get back to me on the date, Carl P. Aren't we all? So many great people, you know, are waiting for dates at the moment, and I don't mean Egyptians. Nicole Liticote, absolutely failing is different to quitting. Absolutely it is. You know, look at the respect that people have for that person that comes last in the Olympics that doesn't know where they are. They're floundering all across the stadium. People look at them and go, dude, you might have come second last, but you just got the admiration of every colour, creed, gender and religion on the planet because you had the resolve to not quit. This person has no quit. Kibosh, they're given up. Do you know who never says it better? I'll tell you who doesn't say it any better. Is Rocky. He says it the best. And I'm going to show it to you before we actually ponder on the comments that led to this stream. Look at this gentleman, this veteran up the top here. Okay, I didn't quit. Hasn't quit. Continues to push on with what he's got. And it's going to be a long, hard trudge. Believe me. This peak where he's back into getting back on to the horse, so to speak, that only lasts a while before it becomes a trough again. But then you've got to rebuild yourself. You've got to climb back up the mountain. Okay, how hard is it for people that have gone up Mount Everest and then they find out that Kilian Jornet sprinted up, you know, in less than a day? You'd be thinking, I spent years preparing for that. And then this guy runs up there with a Snickers bar, give him a sponsorship, doesn't need water, he's surrounded in it, it's snow, and does it twice in 1 week. Rambo, he's here. Just past my interview now, waiting for lockdown to end so I can put my medical in. That's awesome. Aussie V8. I wish I was one. Double A is for quitters. Simon. Right, let's listen to what Rocky's got to say, and hopefully we don't get closed down on this one. Right, this is a reaction, YouTube. Let the voice be heard. You might remember this. But it is absolutely magnificent. I should make a little standalone video just for this. Guys and gals, listen to this. You know, think of what mentality you might have, then wisdom suddenly slaps you in the face and says things in a calmer tone with a calculated message behind it. This is a father and son message, and it's about quitting, but also being the best version of yourself. Here we go. Get your popcorn ready. Mr. P.
You know, living with you, it hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now with all this going on, this is going to be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
Well, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself, and this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through with this, okay? This is only gonna end up bad for you, and it's gonna end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
Great.
It's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm gonna be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
This message should really ring to some of you out there that feel like you don't get trust from your friends, family, and those that love you.
This, but you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful.
The best.
It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed.
Yeah.
You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good.
Preach it.
And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame.
Yeah.
Like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Happens
you,
now.
me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life.
Yep.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Yep.
Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody.
Excuses.
Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
That's what happens when wisdom slaps you in the face, team.
I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
Bam. How good is that message? Including, don't forget to visit your mother. Guys and gals, this can go both ways. This can be the kid talking to the parent, saying, Mum and Dad, you can't make decisions for me for the rest of my life. Don't make me feel like that I should be quitting how far and how high I want to fly. Let me make the decisions. You want me to be a farmer, you want me to be a doctor. I want to be a helicopter pilot. I want to be a vet. Whatever I'm going to do is a little bit about what the job is, what the career is, but a lot of it is also about the mission, about what you're going to do around the people that you want to be around for the rest of your life. Retirement, it's not a thing anymore. Why would you retire to be by yourself, doing nothing, watching other people living, when you can be living it yourself? Your friend circle disappears as soon as you retire. Believe me, I'm retired. I didn't quit. I got a yellow envelope that said no more. Your time here is done. The 24-year mark. I'd go back any day for free to have the opportunity to say what I'm saying right now to private soldiers, to corporals, to young lieutenants, captains, colonels, and say, don't lose yourself in the message. Be the best you can be. Skater boy. See the man this boy can be. You can all do that. But you're also surrounded by the project, by Facebook, by Instagram, by Twitch, by frickin' Twitter, by TikTok telling you it's fine to quit, that it ain't your fault. It is your fault if you quit. It's all your fault. And you need to know that, because if you don't get the counter side of the message, then you will think it's okay, and it's not. And the people that tell you it's okay are going to smile behind your back, because they're probably quitters too, and you just joined their herd. You don't want to be in a quitter's herd. You want to be in a winner's herd. You don't need to be coming first. Just don't be the slowest in that herd. Wear a hat like this where once it goes on, you know there's no quitting. Until the exercise, until the fat lady sings and it's time to get back on the truck. And then you roll back through a town covered in blood, covered in cam cream, covered in filth from nature. Tully's best has been thrown at you. Maybe a leech down your pants. That's what she said. I said, it's not a leech. Make it happy. Guys and gals, there is no better feeling than living hard, but then coming back to the comforts. The world is covered by those that are living hard, will never get to step away because of the postcode they were born in. Right? You choose how high you want to fly. You do. But don't quit. Let's have a look at these comments, shall we? Thomas Collette, cheers, Carl and Joel. We've got some good news here by the sound from the movie Rocky Balboa. Rocky talking to his son. You can watch every Rocky movie, and he got told, Sylvester Stallone got told, you can't do it. And he's one of the best producers of any movie ever. Everything he touches, cult. When in doubt, watch First Blood. I just want my country to love me like I love it, says Simon Powell. Greggy Palmer, I'm going to quit having showers. Right on. Robbie, 100. Leo Wanker, First Blood. Yep. Jay, get the chip off the shoulder. What's going on? Jay's never had a chip. Jesse Bray, got my psych as soon as lockdown ends. Nathan Pinto, what did I say about leeches, guys? Cheers, Kaz, that was nice. Well, Joshy Fawns, sometimes the balance of power and wisdom is telling you can't do it, and it's okay not to do it, and you can't shame people for this, that, or the other, when that is sometimes being a mate, telling someone their behaviour, what they're doing, the way they're acting is inappropriate, and you're the only one with leadership enough to tell them that you're saying this as a brotherhood, as a friend. Sycophants will surround themselves around people and absolutely cherish your failures while pretending to be your best friends. Lauren did a stream yesterday, fantastic, about positive reinforcement gone wrong. Let's have a look at this. Bam. This is you guys don't know how often I spend just sitting writing out comments, okay? This was a comment during the Olympics that I heard. Also confused. Phoenix Knight, thumbs up. Raji, finishing my internship tomorrow. Technically, I can now officially become an engineer in the Defence Force. Fantastic. An engineer of your own career. I like it. So Skylar De Beer, like I said, I don't think this is a real name. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put her name up. Okay, but watching the Olympics, my time of the utmost amount of pride for all nations, genders, religions, etc., where they all come to one. This is what I got. What's wrong with quitting? Obviously, one has been vetted by the virtue of being allowed to enlist in the first place. So I appreciate the point that anyone who is present is capable of marching out. Yes, that is true. U session, assessment session, medical and pre-enlistment fitness assessment. Like I've said, it's impossible to fail unless an act of God occurs or you decide, no, my oath or affirmation is not enough to keep me going. My family name is not strong enough to keep me in the fight. Okay, I'll move on. My contention is that the enlisted process allows DFR, okay, to assess the enlistee, okay, yep, you're going for them for a job, career, for the rest of your life, everything paid for, but little in that process allows the enlistee to assess what service is actually like. I'll tell you what, if you decide to pull out of a university degree for a doctorate, you don't get told, okay, it's all right to go. You get a HEX bill that you'll never be able to afford to pay off. There's always a penalty, whether you pay it in time, whether you pay it in finances, or whether you pay it in credibility, or all three added together, the trifecta. Okay. It's actually like to enlist is, unless you have people in your life able to educate you, I thought that's what I was doing, trying to educate you. This is the most amount of information you've ever been able to get in any point of time, other than back in the time of the spear and the shield, where you sat around the spears and the warriors when they told you what you were getting ready for, as you dislocated from the women who were collecting the berries, okay, skinning the animals, preparing the food. Okay, this is you. Are people in your life able to educate you as to what to expect? And even then, it will be harder to be akin to the real thing. To make a decision without full knowledge, you're never going to get full knowledge of things in life, team, of what that entails. In that regard, Kapooka is really the only opportunity for a recruit to understand that they can expect the next 4 years to be like. Wrong. Kapooka is not indicative of the next 4 years of your life or military experience. It does not teach you what army life is going to be like. It teaches you the all-core trade skills required for an all-core soldier prior to any specialisation. She's wrong. She hasn't even given it a chance. If an individual who had known what to expect before applying chooses on that basis not to, would that be such a terrible thing? Well, if you knew, who would go into the army if they could have a sneak feel of what it's like to be laying down in water with leeches, not knowing when you're going home, absolute fatigue, while getting ready and gearing up for something that could put your life in peril. You don't get to do that. There is no perfect Pollyanna world where there's unicorns that come and take you away when the time gets hard. I shall continue. If so, then I imagine you must behold every fit and mentally strong civilian who never served in the same contempt as you hold those submitted an ROR. If not, then what's the problem? Sure, you wouldn't want to spend your career amongst those who hate their job and don't want to be there. There we go. Well, let me unpack that a little bit. I don't have any contempt for anyone that doesn't go into the Army, Air Force or Navy or police force or paramedics. I want you to have your life. What I do have contempt for is when someone says, I'm going to do it, oath or affirmation, Queen, God, country, themselves and their family name, and then quits before they actually saw that they probably would have been great at what they did. It's okay to think of quitting. That's fine. That means that enough pressure has been put on to let you know that this is the real deal. You're not in Kansas now, Dorothy. Right. What was so telling about this comment, and write down here what you think, but this person clearly has a disgruntled view and think it's okay to quit, or they just don't like being judged for the decisions they've made. So, Skylar, goodbye. You're fired. Next. It's fair that I give the response that I gave because I don't have a go at your team. If you have a negative comment, that's fine. I will comment to you, but I'll at least try to back it up with something that validates. Now, at the same time that this happened, I got a fantastic comment just below that from the gentleman, like I discussed, that had said that he's regretting his decision, to discharge on request from Kapooka. And this is what I said. What's wrong with quitting via ROR? That's her words. When has quitting after giving your solemn oath or word ever been a point in which your character should be put under the spotlight? Kapooka basic training is in no way an indication of military service to follow, therefore is not a reason to quit. Quitting is a voluntary failing what you have said you are ready, willing, and able, as well as promised to do, to shortfall, absolutely. It should be a horrible feeling to quit. And you know now. What else did I write? I'll insert a comment that is below yours to validate my point and yours, and I also hope you don't go on to regret your life decision as this gentleman did. This guy had his real name in there. I didn't put it up. There's nothing worse than living with regret. When I was 19 and enlisted, I DOR, discharged on request, at the end of Kapooka. I'm 41 now, and I feel I missed out on the big adventure and living a wasted life. Now, team, I have heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot. And it's sad. I don't want you to feel like you have a wasted life. Oops. I want you to have a fulfilled life, where you give yourself a puncher's chance of winning no matter what you do, so that you come out and one day when you're 50 years old like this cat here, you look back and go, I'm really stoked with what I did. And then I can compare notes with you. When I meet up with you on Anzac Day and you can go, you know what, Kaz? Army was never really for me, but I was a vet, and I'll be going, wow, tell me about it. You confuse me. The people that love animals the most are going to go into a trade where you're around animals that are screaming. Someone might say, I was a hooker for 30 years. I'm going to go, holy shit. Tell me about it. What was the worst? What was the best thing about it? How much money did you have in your bank account? I love what you do, whatever you do, but I want you to have passion and not just have a job. Live this life, because when you're 50, you can't play it back. You can't redo it. You don't get a second shot. After 50, you get to live with the decisions you made up until 50. That's what it's all about, whether you're single. Okay, whether you're happily getting someone bring you food out to you while you sit down on your aching bones, but say it's all worth it because I lived my life. That's what it's all about, team. Living life. Would you rather $200,000? in one hit, or do you rather get $20,000 for 10 years every year to go on an adventure, a trip every year? Well, that's what it's like in the army. Every year, there's another trip happens. And you're getting paid to do it. Is it going to be equivalent to a K92? Is it going to be equivalent to a Talisman Sabre? Is it going to be Tully? Okay, is it going to be high range? Is it going to be Shoalwater Bay? Is it going to be with the Navy? Is it going to be with the Air Force? Is it going to be Gold Eagle exchange with the US Marines? Your life is going to be continually moving around, living at School of Infantry. Okay, instructing for a job, telling teachers, I'm a teacher too. But I get to go to the wineries when I'm finished my lesson. Awesome, thank you. Back to you guys. Robert, just be yourself and know your information. Yep. Nathan Pinto, Kim is the same as drop on request. It's voluntary quitting is what it is. I meant to say DFR. Hey, Aussie player. How you going, mate? For those that don't know, the Wally character down here with the Euros is actually in Germany and he's a paramedic. The angels that walk amongst us. He's not allowed to quit. What if the paramedic who's got tired arms that's keeping you alive quits? They don't get to quit. We don't get to quit. When the enemy decides, the threat force decides that this is your day to meet your maker, you can quit, but I don't recommend it. Aussie player, not Sue Cow, mate. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the lives you save. And please tell me, how many has it been in the last month, do you believe? How many call-outs have you had where you've gone and put Humpty Dumpty back together again, sir? Mucho respect. You know that I love you guys. Kimmy Mills. I'm not sure, Nathan. Sorry. Okay. How many lives you saved this week, mate? The Rusty Gypsy. You're right, Kaz. Thank you, mate. And guys and gals, I don't come on here just to be right. What I come on here is to put a voice out there that you may not be hearing anywhere else in your life. That's what it's all about. She quit, he didn't. And that could be quite easy the other way. It could be a guy that's saying I quit and a girl saying I didn't. There's 1,000 different scenarios that fit into that. Nicole King says, Carl P, yes, I agree. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the screen here. I hope Lauren is fine tonight. I haven't been able to get hold of her today. Survival Man 343, fantastic channel. Okay, on Instagram as well. Love what you're doing. Keep it up, Kaz. I do try to keep it up, but there's no victims for that one. Hypernova, words of wisdom, mate. It's been fantastic answering your comments, mate. Great to have you here. All the best, and let's have a conversation soon if we can. Hassel Patel, stay hard, Kaz. I will. Simon, Pitch Black 91 as the hardest exercise I ever did. We always remember the hard stuff, don't we? Richard, I don't think I've seen you here before. Richard Lomended. Lomended? I'm not sure what your name is there, mate. Throwing out 3 preachers to us. We can all do with a little bit of outside help. Richard, welcome to the channel. If this is new to your channel, team, put a hands of colour down in the chat and send a question that I can answer right now, because yous all matter. Yous do. We're the team. Rambo, what's the first month like at an infantry battalion? Hard. Like for a young bloke. And what type of guy should you be in and what guy should you not be? It's like anything. All you need to do is go in, be a little bit quiet, listen, okay, speak a bit. If they say come out for a beer, you go out for a beer. Just don't get rolling drunk, so you know what's going on, who you can listen to, who you shouldn't listen to, who's in the mix, who's speaking shit, and who you think is going to be a great friend. Because when you go to an infantry battalion, it's like a colour gang. Colours. Are you going to be a Crip or a Blood? Because you're going to have to choose, but you'll be in a section inside a platoon of 30, and that'll be your daily life. They will look after you. They will put training wheels on you. They'll give you a bit of shit, just like you would to anyone that joins your team, the newest guy. But that's how they're just working you out too. All right? Just do your job, finish everything, stand out in PT, don't whinge. No matter who tells you to do it, yeah, no worries. Okay, good. Have a positive attitude and you can't go wrong. People have a hard time giving a hard time to people with a positive attitude. No one has a hard time giving a quitter a hard time, but Rusty Gypsy. My back stuffed. I did not quit to do vehicle testing. A bad back. It's an invisible injury. It's so hard to explain to people why you walk around like such a weirdo when it's happening too. You know, you see everyone with a bad back on planes. You see them moving around like they're sitting on the gear stick, said the sailor. Lachlan, I like what you said about no one's ready, really to turn to you for your words of wisdom like this, and I really appreciate the pump up, mate. Lockie, this used to be something you probably wouldn't have needed as much when there was 50-50 teachers that were male. You know, but imagine if you come from a family where you don't have a father figure at home or one in your life, and then you go to school and there's no male teachers, and then you come outside the school gate and you hang around people that may not be good for your peer pressure, mentoring, and before you know it, you've made decisions that are incorrect for you that have actually closed doors on your future. That's why I'm here. We can talk about any subject. You always bring me back to military. That's fine. Okay, but we are here for the wisdom balance. That's what we do. Got to go get some food. Be back later. Simon, all the best, mate. See you, Simon. Simon says, Brady, no Orlando. Jay Hayes, take care, Simon. He does. Good guy. Nearly time for meds and nighty off. Mr. P, isn't that a great feeling? The last time I slept was in an ambush. Sean Duffy. Hey, Kaz, first time on the live. Do you have a recommends? Oh, for what there, Sean? Let us know what you mean, and we'll see what we can do to answer that right now. Robert. Hey, Bob, are there any mats to roll on at Kapooka? You won't be doing any of that at Kapooka, Rob. Okay, the reason is there is a, what would you call it? There is a sponsored fitness program which is designed to make you fitter but not injure you. Okay, same deal when you get to the School of Infantry. You know, there is a combatives week that is set there for you to learn a combatives mode with your teammates. You know, yeah. So you won't get the ability to go out and just train the way you did as a civilian that may not be productive to the actual physical training requirements, or can even bring on injuries for those while they're still outside the formal PT curriculum. Rusty Gypsy. You know, I think the Navy, they get to roll on each other all the time, but mate, if you decide to go there as well where no one can hear you scream. J.A., stay safe, Mr. P. Mr. P, legend, been here forever. Rusty Gypsy, Black Knight, did not quit. We blow him up so many times, blast doll, for vehicle blast testing. The Black Knight, I like it. How's things going for you, Mr. P? He's off, Brady. What's the best thing to do while up in the Ville, if there's any? Mate, Mexican food, going to the gym. You know, the weather is wedding weather all the time, but I don't recommend getting married all the time. Castle Hill, 4 metres off being classed a mountain. The Strand is fantastic to walk while holding someone else's wife's hand. You can purchase real estate dirt cheap up there. Mate, it is just a full immersion to military. Being the best version of you. There's even a casino there. Right? Would you recommend a certain amount of fitness to go into infantry? Yeah, absolutely. Like, say, 10 on the beep test. Yep, that sounds good. Push-ups, I'd say 60 at least. Yep, I never used to do less than 100, okay, because I wanted my soldiers to see me, okay, showing them how it's done, and also it made me better in the bedroom. You got to make up for your father's looks sometimes, don't you? J. Magnifico, Sean, be able to pass the BFA. You've got to be able to pass a BFA. You're not going to get time at Kapooka to learn how to do that, and it's a felony, as Vanilla Ice said, okay, that you don't do a BFA to march out standard prior to leaving Kapooka. It just passes problems on to the next gaining units, but it's only been put there because they're allowing quotas to get in that they know can't actually come up with the goods. So they handball them over to other corps and let them have the problem that sometimes they never get by. Nicole, Cactus Jacks. You can't go past it. The best Mexican food in the world. If there was ever a reason to migrate from a country as an illegal immigrant, it would be Cactus Jacks. And there's only one thing to have there, and that is the chicken fajitas mixed with the extra tortilla and sauces with the buffalo wings. Absolutely a must. Sean Duffy would be able to pass now. Just want to have an edge and be prepared. That's it. Hassel. Can you train by yourself when you are free in Kapooka or Singleton? You can in Singleton. You can, not at Kapooka. You won't have any free time at all in Kapooka. And if you do, you're probably writing a letter or preparing something for the following day. Right? They only give you 8 hours sleep at Kapooka, so you have no excuses not to suck off the invisible man the next day during lessons. What do I mean by that? That's when you see the guy up there going, huh, huh, huh. They call it sucking off the invisible man. Hey, Josiah Dobson, throws in there the cha-cha baby. Not too cow, sir. I think this is my first time seeing you on here. Do you have something you need to say? Let us know if you have a good comment. Unharmed Salad. I'm wondering when the medical will be done because assessment day is online. I've got no idea how they're going to do that for you, mate. I really don't. Because a medical, naturally, you need to be in there. I don't even think you can really do the assessment day, the psychological screening. I don't think that should be done, by correspondence. I want to see the way you turn up, the way you hold yourself, the way you sit with others in the waiting room. I want to be able to give a character, test to someone as they come in. And I want that to come from someone military. Here's one for you. I'll take the glasses off for a second. This really annoyed me. Really, really bloody annoyed me. We had a fellow that went into recruiting, and he went in there, and basically he's been told, you might need a second crack at this, but not next year, in the next week or so, because they were asking him questions like, how long does Kapooka go for? How long does Singleton go for? How long's a piece of string? What about being in a perimeter? All that sort of stuff. And it was a Raffy that was saying it to him. You're going, dude, you've never done this guy's job. You don't know the answers to these questions. This guy hasn't done it yet. Let him have some surprises. As he turns up to the institution, slap, gets a shot of reality. All I expect you to do when you turn up is be physically ready, administrationally ready, psychologically ready, medically ready, and attitude ready. And you're good to go. Josiah. Imagine that. You're going to become cavalry in the army. And someone from the Air Force or the Navy that's never done your job is saying to you, yeah, I don't think you got it, mate. You'd be like, can I get the opinion from someone that's from the job I want to go to, please? What's worse, it could even be a civilian that's saying it. Kaz, Nathan Pinto. Kaz, you mentioned a yellow envelope before. I was wondering to what particular that was referring to. Basically, what happened, mate, was I'd done me 24 years. Okay, I was at the School of Infantry. And basically my boss gave me an envelope, yellow envelope. That was it's just a general nondescript envelope, and it had in there a medical discharge form. Basically, it was my termination letter to let me know my time was done. You can put in an appeal, but you've done 24 years. There's people that care about you that are making this decision for you, and your 24-year career is now got basically 3 months from now. Get ready, So it'd be like being in prison, I'd imagine, for 24 years, thinking you're going to be in there for 40, and then suddenly they come out and go back to the real world. Now you're not going to be around free medical, you're not going to be around free removals, you're not going to be around a platoon of guys, you're not going to be around the people that speak your language. See you later. And none of us know how to help you with that, but good luck. So, yeah, it was a real rough adjustment, mate. Nicole King, Nathan, all good. Phoenix, g'day, Kaz. I have your bat phone number from my old YouTube account. Yep, it's just here, mate. Patreon was cancelled last year. Should I just rejoin the YouTube channel and regain my lost glory? Phoenix, if you've got the number, as far as I'm concerned, just ring the phone. You don't have to rejoin anything, mate. I'm not here to hold your feet to the fire, so to speak. Now, for those that don't know what we're talking about, we've got the bat phone here. If you follow the Patreon link below, you can come to and have one-on-one counselling sessions with this guy so that I can answer all of your questions one-on-one for normally around 20 minutes to half an hour. And you can do that multiple times so you can actually speak off the reservation about things you wouldn't normally speak about yourself on here. And you can include your family in that as well. Carly P. Question, Kaz. Will everyone be quarantined now because and after Kapooka add 4 weeks? I don't think so. And this is the weird thing, Carl. We've got people that are going on quarantine that go to Kapooka, but the instructors still go home and come back each day. None of this shit makes sense to me. None of it. Steve Yo. I did my interview in Stoic after over Goody Meets, and they are splitting the medical in half. Half on Google Meets and half have to wait until Sunday lockdowns ease to do the other half. It's become a shitty mess, hasn't it? Matty123, hey Kaz, would you recommend joining right after high school? Matty, I'd have to know you, mate. I would say normally take your time, work at a coffee shop, have a good time, but again, the COVID's here. Have a little bit of time out because you're about to spend the next year working goddamn hard, no days off. Okay, unless there aren't. So I'd say wait until you're 18 or 19. Unless you're 18 already, because you've got to give time for your body to mature. You have to mature too. It's only immature people that say they're mature, normally. Otherwise, you already know. You don't give yourself titles. Other people give them to you. Yeah? So if I knew you, I'd be able to do a better explanation. But, mate, there's advantages and disadvantages to joining straight after school. Okay, some of those can be psychologically people aren't ready to get told the truth. Sometimes it can be the fact that they're too young to understand criticism is not bullying. Yep. It depends on what your upbringing is. Did you grow up, at Potts Point in Sydney?